The second generation of the Panamera has been hitting the headlines as Porsche's first plug-in hybrid, which can be charged using a household electrical socket. The Panamera S E-Hybrid's battery stores 5 times as much power as its predecessor, and at 70 kilowatts, its electric motor is more than twice as powerful. Our reviewer says the Panamera E-Hybrid is quiet as a mouse. All you hear is the tires rolling and the wind blowing. The car has a range of 36 kilometers in pure electric mode, though if driven prudently, it can travel more than 50. Weinhold says that's a quantum leap compared to its predecessor, which managed just 2 kilometers in electric mode. Even when the battery is run down, the Panamera doesn't have to be plugged into a socket. Pressing the E-Charge button turns the electric motor into a generator. Then the gasoline engine drives not only the wheels, its energy is also used to produce electricity. Long drives on the highway can charge the battery for short, emissions-free jaunts around the city. Weinhold is impressed by the way the E-Hybrid switches almost imperceptibly between gas and electric mode. The boost function packs the 95 horsepower of the electric motor onto that of the combustion engine. This makes for 416 horsepower altogether, allowing the car to rocket from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.5 seconds and hit a top speed of 270. The new hybrid model delivers 306 kilowatts of power and generates a hefty 590 newton meters of torque. But thanks to the added electric motor, fuel consumption is just 3.1 liters per 100 kilometers. In electric mode, the SE Hybrid can reach 135 kilometers an hour. Not everyone likes the Panamera's design, but those who do like it a lot. The rest tend to opt for a classic 911. Under the hood is a 3-liter V6 engine that works in tandem with the electric motor. Striking lettering and the Porsche emblem on the wheels round off the exterior. The battery can be recharged at home thanks to some special equipment. In Germany, regular household electrical sockets have between 8 and 10 amps of current, explains Porsche's Robert Kehler. So it takes around 4 hours to charge the battery fully. But if you have access to high voltage current, you can use that too. Then a full charge takes 2 to 3 hours. The back end of the E-Hybrid is also a sight to behold and features LED taillights. The trunk can be opened by pressing a button on the rear windshield wiper. It offers 335 liters of cargo space, or 1,153 liters with the rear seat bench down. Like the Panamera GTS, the SE Hybrid uses Porsche's Active Suspension Management System, or PASM. It continuously regulates the damping force for each wheel according to the road conditions. Inside, the hybrid looks just like the regular Panamera, save for one tiny detail: the writing on the rev counter. The SE Hybrid is fitted with an 8-gear Tiptronic S automatic transmission. The leather seats are comfortable and ooze quality workmanship, the ultimate in luxury. Clearly, the SE Hybrid Porsche isn't an eco-friendly car for the masses. Its high price tag means it's out of reach for most. The sedan can be had for 110,000 euros in Germany, but only if you resist the many tempting optional extras. The smallest member of the Alfa Romeo family has had a little surgery. The Mito has a new grille that makes the front of the Super Mini more streamlined. It's available with 5 different gasoline engines and 2 diesel units, producing between 51 and 125 kilowatts. There's also the Mito Impression Edition with a new equipment package. Prices for the entry-level model start at 14,100 euros. The latest technologies were on show at the 11th Blech Expo Metal Work Trade Fair last week, with 1,000 manufacturers gathering in Stuttgart. Among the star exhibits were hybrid materials made from steel and synthetics that are pushing lightweight construction forward and making cars more efficient. Dual-phase steel is setting new standards for pliancy and strength and opening up new possibilities for on-road safety and security. The new Volkswagen Cross Caddy cuts an imposing figure in the metallic green tint. The black underride protection and body panels give the vehicle a robust appearance and a hint of adventure. Artista Matis Kurat says the Caddy and the Cross Caddy are both utility vehicles, but many young families opt to buy one because they're incredibly practical, with rear sliding doors and immense storage space. Matis says if you ignore the plastic on the dashboard, which looks like a typical utility vehicle, the Cross Caddy runs like any premium passenger car. We're testing the Cross Caddy with a 2-liter diesel engine and 4-wheel drive. In Germany, the basic model of this version costs at least 33,500 euros. Extras can take that up to over 40,000. Our Cross Caddy has a hill start assist function. Mata says the Cross Caddy has an advantage over the other Volkswagen Cross models because it doesn't just look like an off-roader. It has 4-wheel drive too. That means it's fit for all kinds of use, whether by workmen or families. As is typical for a Caddy, the trunk is huge. And it has the usual high ride height. That ground clearance means the Cross Caddy has an easy ride, even on unpaved roads. But it's also a benefit on paved ones, as it gives the driver a better overview in traffic. The cockpit is clear and functional, like on other VW models. The green exterior spills over to the inside, although buyers have a choice between green and gray. We think this combination has more kick to it. There are more storage spaces all over the car, too. The Caddy was designed as a utility vehicle, but became popular among families. Now Volkswagen is taking aim at that market. So does the Cross give buyers something extra? Mata says that at 40,000 euros, the Cross Caddy we're driving isn't cheap. But for that, you get a vehicle with loads of room, that's well made and will hold its value. Kemya is a beautiful seaside resort in southwest Turkey, normally a place to relax and rejuvenate. For one weekend a year, however, that peace and calm is disrupted when the world's best off-road riders gather here for the Sea to Sky event. They start from sea level, literally by the sea, before scaling Mount Olympus at an altitude of 2,365 meters.
It's always a good atmosphere, you know, like the tourists come, they've probably never seen anything like this, so there's a few heads turning, looking what we're doing. So it's introducing people to the sport as well, and something they've never seen.
The riders start day one on the beach, but hardly as bums. This opening stage of the race is all about speed. thrills, spills, and spectacular jumps. "21-year-old Johnny Walker leaves his rivals in the dust during qualifying, grabbing pole position for the next stage.
I'm feeling good, but it's like every other race I've been to this year, I've been feeling good, but like Erzberg, I drowned my bike in the first water puddle, and then at Romaniacs I ran out of fuel, so hopefully nothing goes wrong at this one."
Then the battle against the elements commences. From the beach, they head for the forest, as the mountain begins to loom larger. The terrain only gets tougher from here onwards, and the riders will have to use all their skills to prevail. Smooth and swift sections are followed by tricky technical parts, pushing man and machine to their limits. It's the kind of conditions that two-time winner Graham Jarvis revels in, and he makes up ground on fellow Englishman Walker.
So if I win this year, it'll be 3 wins on the trot, so it would be a nice... I'm still hungry as ever, still really want that win.
As the race progresses, it becomes increasingly a quest for climbers rather than cruisers. On this kind of terrain, experience and technical riding skills are decisive, not horsepower. Even the best of them struggle to overcome seemingly impassable obstacles. Wielding those heavy 100-kilo bikes around corner after corner is visibly taking its toll. That's an immense physical exertion, and not just because of the terrain.
The hardest part of this race, I think it's the heat. We have more than 30 degrees, and yeah, that's the hardest part for me. And also in the up at the mountain, I heard about a dark canyon.
The dark canyon is the final grueling stage of the sea to sky. Only the crème de la crème make it this far. The exhausted riders have to summon up whatever strength they have left to conquer the summit. It's been a neck-and-neck race between Walker and Jarvis, and there's just a few meters separating them as the finish line comes into view. Walker wins, ending his streak of bad luck. The 10-second winning margin was one of the closest ever in extreme enduro.
I think the hardest part for me was probably coming up towards the end when I seen Jarvis was catching me. I knew he was coming all day, so I just had to push, and then the last 4 miles maybe we were both going backwards and forwards in positions, and eventually got 10 seconds on him at the top, and that's all that split us.
Johnny's rode really well, so big congratulations to him.
In third, no small achievement here, is an exhausted Alfredo Gomez from Spain. For Dougie Lampkin, it seemed the torment would never end.
Basically, I could see the Red Bull arch here, and I thought it was getting close, but I knew the bike was just coming to a stop. And then it looked like it was on fire. There was blue smoke coming from under the tank, and unfortunately somebody was throwing water on it just on that corner, and then the bike just stopped then, and I knew there was no chance trying to restart it. I knew that was the end, and one of the photographers put his cameras down and said, "Let's push it," and I thought, luckily I got some more friends to come down and give us a hand, and Johnny came down, after winning the race, came down and got me through to the end.
Extreme enduro is the ultimate in off-road biking, but there's also a lot of camaraderie between competitors. Only the 3 guys on the podium get trophies, but every rider who finishes the race is surely a winner. Sant'Agata Bolognese, Italy, one of those villages where time seems to have stood still. Everyone knows everyone, and everyone knows Lamborghini. This beauty goes by the name Jalpa, a survivor of the company's era in receivership in the early 1980s, and itself marking the end of a different kind of era. The Jalpa was the last Lamborghini to be powered by a V8 engine. The Jalpa's roof can be swiftly stowed away behind the seats. It was Lamborghini's answer to Ferrari's popular 308 GTS. The company museum on the Via Modena houses a choice selection of the luxury Marquise models. Lamborghini, the name alone, is music to the ears of sports car fans. It took founder Ferruccio Lamborghini little over a decade to make his marquee a legend, thanks to the 400 GT, the Miura, and the futuristic Countach. 1970 had marked the unveiling of the Arauco, with an all-new clean-sheet design and an 8-cylinder overhead cam engine. The Arauco didn't actually hit the market until 1973, however. 787 of the first version were built during its production run through the end of the decade. Its successor, the Lamborghini Silhouette, came in a very limited edition, just 52. The series culminated in the Jalpa. 420 of them were produced from 1982 to 88, Lamborghini's last V8 sports car. The 255 horsepower propelled the Jalpa from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.9 seconds, reaching a maximum speed of 240, one of the fastest cars around in the early 1980s. But who cares about the bare stats when you can indulge in the growl of the 8-cylinder beast under the bonnet? The classic toggle switches were not to be found in the Jalpa. The driver monitors engine performance and speed on dials arranged in a practical square cube. By 1982 standards, air conditioning and fine leather upholstery made the interior practically palatial. The Jalpa may not be a classical beauty, but its design is uncompromising and shamelessly Italian. The exterior boasts flared fenders and a wedge-shaped body. The mere proportions of the car suggest where the V8 is located, behind the driver. Experienced drivers will also feel the rear mid-engine in the car's handling. This car is far more agile than the Jalpa's competitors. Testing the car's limits is best left up to the experts. The rear mid-engine can be a tricky monster to master. In 1982, you could get a Jalpa for about the same price as a Porsche 911 convertible and a VW Golf GTI together. Today, a Jalpa in sound condition still has a price tag of some 50,000 euros. The Jalpa was the last of the Lamborghini V8s and is, for many people, the quintessential Italian sports car of the 1980s.